Okay. Okay.
Ready?
Okay.
Welcome
Okay.
to Rainy. Are we live now?
Yes.
I'm sorry. Welcome to Rainy Speaks, another evening of me sharing my thoughts and energy with you. Again, tonight's moderator will be that of Pastor Wallace. Reverend Wallace, how are you?
I am doing well tonight. Sorry, I'm not able to be on live video tonight, but I'm going to try to do my best with my voice and picture. So I'm excited to be back for our third week. Our third week here at Rainy Speaks. It's exciting times. It's exciting times. Um, Tonight, the topic again, understanding the power of your words. And when you first mentioned that, it just took me back to so many books that I read when I was just giving my life to Christ and just young in the Word. And so I thought about Dr. Frederick Casey Price of Crenshaw Christian Center and his book on how faith works, and then reading another book on the power of the spoken word and how both just really transformed and propelled my life. And The Power of the Spoken Word is by Florence Scovel Shinn, and it's just a wonderful book to get you started. So tonight I want to start off with the question, when was it that you first discovered the concept of your words having power?
When I started to study metaphysical principles, that was that was in the 1970. And I began to understand then through Edgar Casey's work and through some other work that I was studying that that your words have power. Words were like containers, and so they embody and then your intent with the word is what push it in motion. So, and then if you look in Genesis, every time God said something for the first 26 chapters, every time God said something, something manifests. And if we're made in the image and likeness of God, then the same power is within us.
Okay. Okay. So this power, where do you start in terms of understanding the power of your words?
First, you must truly understand who you are. Last week, I said there were two questions that I was asked that changed my life when I was 14. And the first question was, who are you? And we all generally will say, yes, I'm a child of God, but we don't quite understand all that that means. Everything, Jesus said, everything I do, you shall do, and even greater. Even Jesus had to learn the power of his words. And so if we are walking with the power of God in us, then we must begin to take control over our words and our actions. Our thoughts control our words control our actions. And so we must begin to understand that power and how we bring things into manifestation.
Okay. So how do we do that?
I tell people to start off just observing your words and the things that you say. Usually some of them are so automatic. There's an acronym called ANTS, automatic negative thoughts. And when you hear it when people say stuff like, I knew that wasn't going to work. That never works for me. this always ends up like this, automatic, with no real energy or consciousness that you keep controlling it. The more you say it, the more real it becomes. The subconscious mind does not distinguish. It says, okay, if that's what you want, then I'll keep producing that. So again, your thoughts control your words control your action control your world. So we must learn to grab hold of our thoughts and the words that we speak so automatic. So I will tell people usually take a week and just observe the things that you just automatically say. When something happens that you just automatically, I knew that was going to happen. Really? You knew that. So if you have the power to know that, then why don't you take the power to change it? And we do have the power to change the circumstances of our life, and it starts with our words that we use every day. This is killing me. I be damned. You know, you can list a whole list of negative things. So take a moment and just observe your thoughts and your words throughout the day, and how many of them are just automatic, and how many of them are that you have control of. Think of this. What would your world look like if everything you said came true? Not just when you're happy. How about when you're angry? How about when you're upset? How about when things aren't working out for you and you go, I'll be damned? Well, you just cursed yourself. So on one hand, you were asking God to bless you, and then you turned around and said, I'll be damned. Well, you just canceled out the blessing. So we must grab hold of the ants, grab hold of those negative words, and what you do is the moment you see it coming and you feel it coming, it's like, I let that go. I let that go. And that's the beginning of it.
Now these
ants,
where these ants come from, and, you know, do we come with ants? Who impacts the ants that come our way?
The ants, you're impacted by, you think about this, people that you have, that you respect, even especially when you're young. If you have a teacher that says something like, you're never going to be any good, or somebody say to you, you're not worth anything, those are seeds planted in your garden. Your garden is your mind. Those are seeds that get planted in your mind, and they begin to grow. So you begin to grow feeling like, I'll never be worth anything. Why? Because I respect my teacher or my aunt or my uncle or my mother or my daddy. Somebody said I would never be anything. So you spend the rest of your life really living that out, proving that you will never be anything. And so I say you have to weed the garden. You have to catch all of those negative thoughts and weed the garden. Matthew 4:4, Jesus says, man does not live by bread alone, but by every word that come out of his mouth. Scriptures say life and death is in the power of the tongue. So you must guard your tongue. There's an old proverb that says the tongue has no bone, which means it can go any direction it wants. You must take control of your own tongue and speak into existence those things that you desire. Now, that takes time. It doesn't, you didn't grab hold of those negative thoughts overnight. You don't let them go overnight, but it's a process. The first thing is to recognize that you have those negative thoughts. I spoke last week about victimhood, and that's how you can tell when people are in victimhood, because nothing goes right for them. And in that victimhood, you will hear the victim's language.
Can you talk about that? Because that's a big piece, that language. What does it sound like?
that victim language is, this is always happening to me. It's all of those negative things that you keep affirming to yourself. And what there's an exercise I give that says, is it real or is it Memorex? We say things so automatic. And is that your truth? We have tapes that are playing in our heads all the time. And that tape keep playing over and over and over. And you will find a way to prove whatever you believe about yourself, you're going to find a way to prove it. I am no good, okay? So every time a blessing comes, you will sabotage it not working. Everybody else always get it. Then you will always give up your space. You must pay attention. Again, if we are made in the image and likeness of God, then every time God spoke, something happened. So that means every time we speak, we're pushing things into motion, and our words will return back to us. We must remember there is power in your words. And we got beat up so much. I'm too light, I'm too dark, I'm too skinny, I'm too fat. All of those negative words, and those are the tapes, and you keep pushing rewind, and that tape keeps playing, and the more you say it and the longer it goes, the more power it has, the stronger it is. So we have a lot of erasing to do with that Memorex tape that's playing in your head.
So we come with this power, and you talk about the discovery of this power, but where is this power rooted?
The power is rooted in your own spirit. The power is that God gave us everything that we need. We came to earth whole and complete. Nothing missing, nothing broken, nothing need to be fixed. But if you don't know who you are, and you don't accept the fact that you are a child of the living God, then you have already started with a deficit. So the first thing you have to do is I fall in love with yourself. We know how to fall in love with everybody else and everything else but ourselves. Do something every day to yourself, for yourself, by yourself, to say to yourself, I love me. Now, the more I do that, I begin to change that energy. I begin to change the vibration in me to that moving out of victimhood. And now I can start moving into the next phase of my life, and that is beginning to heal and accept who I am. Not I love myself. There's an exercise I give all the time. Stand in front of a full-length mirror, absolutely nude. Look at yourself and simply say, I love you. Now, I've had people say to me, oh, I can't do that. So I tell them, start off with then just looking at your face and just look in your own eyes and say, I love you. And just feel what you feel. Some people, it feels funny. Okay, then just let the feelings go. I love you. Matter of fact, the more you can do it, I love me just as I am. Not if I had long hair, short hair, not if I'm lighter or darker, not if I lose weight or gain weight. No, just as you are, I love you. And you keep saying that until that feels so comfortable in your skin that it's got to get down to your bone marrow. And down, the power of your words begin to take and manifest in the simple fact that you love yourself. And then you won't let anybody talk to you any kind of way. And that's something else. You learn to stop people right where they are. No, you must be talking to the wrong person. I love the show Shark Tank. I watch that sometimes. and Mr. Wonderful, as he calls himself, will tell people that you're a dog or you're dead to me. And he called one lady a dog, and she stopped him right there. She said, "You will not call me out of my name." I said, "Yes, somebody got it." She said, "You will not call me out of my name." And they all just kind of looked, and he looked, and he didn't know what to do with that. You give power to people, and especially if they're calling you a negative name. I don't even answer. I don't even turn. You can call me a dog, a bee, or whatever. I'll keep walking because you could not possibly be talking to me. So you have to start with erasing that tape. You have to start with understanding who you are, and you have the power to do it. Take your power back. It's so important to take your power back. And then you're on that road of healing. Then now you're on that road of becoming the strong person that you are meant to be. Now, every struggle that comes to you in your life is only testing you so that you can discover how strong and how great you are. That's all struggles are for. So start off with monitoring your words. Pay attention to your words. Watch out for the ants. When the ants come, you go, that's not my truth. That was good, but that's not my truth. I don't believe that about myself. And now you're on that road.
It's funny that you say that, because I think about the 20 plus years ago when I first came into your workshop, The Art of Loving Yourself, and where you laid out and took us through this process of creating this tape. And I remember when I got back home, I was living in Atlanta at the time, and I got back home, and I don't think I did it right away, but when I actually sat down to do it, I had some music playing behind it, and it was about 45 minutes of me in tears, just appreciating and loving on me. It was transformational, and I listened to that tape morning and night, and it reset and interrupted the tape that was running in my head.
Yes, that's a powerful technique. And so for those that may be watching, you get a tape and you want to put at least 30 minutes on it. You can add a little bit each day, but you're simply talking to yourself, telling yourself how much you love you. And you use your name. So my tape would sound like this: Rainey, I love you. I love the color of your skin. I love the sound of your voice. Rainey, I love everything about you. I love your weight. I love your smile. And I want to dedicate this poem. You read a poem or you play some music, and you just keep adding that until you get it up to at least 30 minutes. Now, when you go to bed at night, that's the last thing you should hear, is your voice telling you how much you love you. And then when you wake up in the morning, you put it back on. Again, the first thing you hear in the morning is your voice telling you how much you love you and appreciate you. And I tell anybody, you make that tape and do it for 30 days, you will be a new creature in Christ.
I remember you telling me that your individual voice is the most powerful voice in your life. We look for folks to affirm and to tell us how much they love us, but there's nothing like your own individual voice.
Yes.
And I'm going to testify that it helps you get out of your own way and moves you to a place of appreciation versus just allowing the tape to feed in, and then you're listening to it like it's live. You said, like it's live, like it's happening right there. And most of the time, it's not even happening.
Yes.
It's something that you created. We're very creative.
Oh, yes, we are. And we will take that negative thought and just run with it. And it's like, no, none of that happened. None of that. That's not my truth. So, and that's where you start. That's not my truth. That's a tape playing. And you begin to erase that tape. And these techniques that we've been talking about really help to, and as you just gave the testimony, help to reaffirm to yourself how much you appreciate you.
Mm-hmm. What's some other interruption techniques that you could share with us tonight?
Some other techniques that I will give, I just said do something every day to yourself, for yourself, by yourself. You know, we will buy flowers for our loved ones. We will buy flowers for special occasions. Well, today should be your special occasion. You don't have to buy a whole bouquet if you don't want to, even if you just buy one. You have to, again, everything that you do would be that of affirming yourself. I had someone that was always wearing dark clothes. I said, I want you to wear lighter clothes. And he was like, why? I said, because the dark clothes that you have on is pulling your energy down. And sometimes you can do simple things like take a piece of paper that might be red or orange and just place it in front of you or around you so that it will lift your energy up. You also have to sometimes eliminate some people from around you. There are some people that just aren't healthy because they are in their own negative thoughts, and now they want to bring their negative, and you know, they want to be with you because they can keep affirming their negative thoughts with your negative thoughts. And it's like, no, I gotta let that go. And sometimes if you try to correct them and you tell somebody, oh, why do you keep saying the negative things? I'm not negative. Oh, okay. Well, you have to find a way to put a little distance with that. I listened to someone the other day that dropped me off, and the person had, I was listening to their language. And when I got out the car, I just wanted to take a bath. I was like, oh my goodness. And I said, the next time, I couldn't even correct it in that moment. I was like, they hear nothing. Because I kept trying to change the subject and they couldn't hear it. I said, so the next time I'm going to say, we need to talk. But your language is all negative. And so you take these techniques, where do you start? The mirror work. If you don't have a full length mirror, just a hand mirror. I did this exercise when I did prison ministry. And I was telling the guys, I said, every day, you can't make a tape, but while you can just say out loud, I love you, and say your name and just begin to say how much you love yourself and appreciate yourself. One day I came in and the warden called me and the counselors called me and said, we need to talk to you. And I said, yes. They said, we keep hearing these echoes of, I love you. And I appreciate you. And I heard things like how fine you are. Well, of course, when they would try to come up on the person to be one person, so they couldn't figure out where the other person was. And I just bust out laughing. They said, you find this funny? I said, yes. Because they never asked the guys, what are you doing? And when I gave the technique to the counselors, they were like, oh my goodness. And they actually saw the behavior change in the guys that were doing it. I always say, you know, the difference between a diamond and a piece of coal. The piece of coal, a diamond is nothing but a piece of coal that has been under pressure. And under that pressure, it pops out into a beautiful diamond. So all the struggles that you're going through is the pressure that's shaping you into a diamond. And now you have to understand that you're already a diamond. You have to embrace it. You have to know that I'm worth this. I am worth being around the best people. I'm worth eating the best food. I'm worth whatever it is, I'm worth it.
That's a huge step for some.
Yes, it is. And sometimes people can't go, I love you. So I say, okay, start off with, I like you. I like you. Rainey, I like you. Rainey, I like the color of my skin. You have to start off, sometimes back up. And the key to it is, once you say it, just see how it feels in your body. See, your body will never lie to you. And if it's uncomfortable in your body, it's like that, that's where you got to start working. And you keep saying it and keep saying it. And that negative tape is going to come up. No, you're not. I told you were ugly. No. You know the scene in The Color Purple when Whoopi is in the car and she says, I might be ugly, I might be black. She finally came into her own. It's like, no, you will not treat me like this anymore. And we have to wake up out of that dream that we're not worth it. You're made in the image and likeness of God. God created you whole, perfect, just as you are. Nothing missing, nothing broken. And so if you start with these techniques, it will truly begin to change your life.
One piece of the technique that I just want to highlight, and when you're speaking to yourself and, as you say, loving on yourself and going from head to toe, one of the things that is very important is speaking those things that you have been searching for and looking for and hoping someone would say to you.
Yes.
That way, you say it to yourself first. That way, they have to compete with all the love that you have for yourself. And that every time that you hear it and reinforce it, it just empowers you and moves you even further. And I think that was the piece that drew the tears, because you begin to stop waiting for someone else to affirm what is already in you as an individual. And
yes.
It just opens up a floodgate. It opens a floodgate. And I knew that I had reached that gate when my speech started getting slurred, as I was just nose running.
Not the ugly face.
The ugly face, just loving on me. And that was, I mean, it was so liberating the first time. And then I shared it with a few people. And I'm gonna tell you, I didn't share it with a lot of people because it's personal. Everybody can't hear it.
Yes.
Everybody don't need to hear it. Everybody don't need to hear it.
Here's another little simple technique that I give people. I love myself because I'm worth it. Write it on a card and tape it on your wall, on your bedroom, on the mirror. Make it a screensaver. I love myself because I'm worth it. And now you will work at showing yourself what I'm worth. I'm worth buying myself flowers. I'm worth having I used to have a crystal glass. Well, in my cabinet, I would put one paper cup amongst all the glasses. And if somebody said, can I get a drink of water or juice? I said, go ahead, look in the cabinet and get something. And if they pick up a paper cup, I would ask them, there's one paper cup and all of those glasses. Why did you pick up the paper cup? Oh, well, I didn't want to dirty your glasses. If I didn't want you to get dirty glasses, I would have gave you the paper cup myself. I could not imagine. I go, you are worth more than that. Put that paper cup back. Well, why do you have it in the closet? To remind myself. Now, sure, if I'm on a cookout or something, sure I'm going to use a paper cup. But in my home, I drink out of glass all the time. No, I drink out of glass. I'm worth that alone. So each day you keep defining what you're worth. I love myself because I'm worth it. I'm worth what? I'm worth not being in an abusive relationship. I'm worth what? I'm worth not working just overtime, and can't enjoy my life. Worth what? I'm worth being around good people that love themselves. Worth what? You keep defining what you're worth, and you'll find you go higher and higher and higher. Then people cannot just treat you any kind of way.
You're helping somebody. You're helping somebody. My hand is up. My hand is, both hands are up. You talked a few minutes ago about energy. And so what I'm hearing is that speaking is focusing and channeling your energy. Tell me more about that.
Everything is energy. Everything is in motion. This pen, it's only solid because the molecules are moving at a slower rate that it feels solid. But everybody knows that if you break it down into the molecules are moving. Everything is energy. And our words see, energy is neutral. It's not good or bad. It just is. But think of the energy you feel when you're angry. And that, and now you put words to it, and now that's power that goes out. So the Bible don't say you can't get angry. It says don't let the sun go down on your anger, and be slow to anger, and then release it. Let it go. I let this go. Because you begin to create this energy field, and and everybody know this. You walk up on somebody and you go, how are you? And they go, I'm fine. And you can tell, no, you're not. I can feel it. Or you walk up on them and go, how you going? And they go, great. And it's like, ooh, what's going on with you? I can feel all of this wonderful energy. It is, so that energy can be felt, it can be perceived, and we have control over it. Anybody who may be fighting depression, sure, there's seasonal depression. What was some healthy ways? Put bright lights around you, put full spectrum lights around you, put bright colors on. It changes the energy with you. So everything is energy, and we must learn to control the energy that is within us. And we have to be careful how we give that power. You know this. If a doctor say to you, well, I never forget, the doctor told my mother she didn't have long to live. My mother said, I will see my great-grandchildren. Now, mind you, there were no grandchildren. And she said great-grandchildren. And we were all like, okay. She said, I'm not letting that man tell me what I can do. He's not God. My mother saw, I think, 3 of her great-grandchildren. So she was not allowing that energy to take over her. And that energy can be, how we assign it makes all the difference in the world.
I like that you said not allowing. Not allowing, and that position of choice, that position of power, that position of operating as the master of your vessel, and just regulating what comes out of your mouth. and some things, like when you said, I thought about some things aren't worth spending my energy on. They're
Yeah.
just not worth it.
Yeah.
Because where am I going to be? And if we think about where am I going to be after I've said this, after I've done this,
Mm-hmm.
where am I going to be? And is it going to slow me down from getting where I'm going or take me off task of where I'm going because I allowed someone, something to come in and pull me off course and to pull some energy away? Now, if you are 1 inch away from you, I guess we need to think about this. You're 1 inch away from receiving your blessing, and you need every bit of energy that is within you. Do you have time to waste just a little bit?
Yeah.
That little bit is going to make a difference.
Yeah. Yeah. And so we must learn to stay laser focused with our energy. You know, if you take a magnifying glass and I know you know people that have done this. I know you have never done this. And you hold it up in the sun. And well, at first it's out of focus, so it just radiates all over. But when you angle it right, it returns into a beam and it burns straight through because that beam is so focused. That's how we have to be in our life with our energy. It has to stay focused. You do not give a butter knife, a butcher knife to a baby.
Mm-hmm.
We must learn the same thing. We must learn in the beginning how to take control over our words. You know what? Jesus even had to learn how to control his words. And see, all of us can control our words when things are going right. But remember the story when Jesus cursed the fig tree and the fig tree died. And then they came back past the tree. They said, Master, the tree, it died. He said, oh, and he apologized to the man. It wasn't season for figs. He was just hungry. He had just finished preaching to 5,000 people. The brother was hungry and he went for the fig tree and it was nothing. He said, oh, wither and die. Well, what it would have been if he had said to one of the disciples, you're no good, just wither and die. And that is the power of our words. And that's why we got to be careful when we say things to people. Oh, just drop dead. Whoa. What would your world look like if everything you say came true? So you don't have the luxury. The more you know, the sharper that knife is. So you don't have the luxury just to use your words carelessly. Or drop dead, or go to hell, or F off. Really? No. You don't have the luxury to just use the words and the energy that light. See, the words are the container. And then the energy that you push behind it determines how it will manifest or how far it will go.
Well, you know, I'm gonna circle back to that. One of our upcoming topics is going to be around energy, because I think there are a lot. There's so much more that we can cover, and then I'm sure that people will have a lot of questions regarding how to manage, how to regulate, how to tap into that energy. Before we break, because we're almost out of time tonight, I want to invite you to wrap it up as you normally do. Give us your closing thoughts, and then I'll set us up for next week.
This is an ongoing journey, an ongoing process. I said early in this that your mind is a garden, and there are sometimes seeds that come in and plant, and we have to make sure we weed the garden constantly of the ants, the automatic negative thoughts. And so check yourself throughout the day. Why do I just say that? Why do I believe what I believe? Do I really believe I'm no good? That's why the song, I said, I will never sing those words. this Amazing Grace saved a wretch like me. I am never have been a wretch. With all that I might have done, I am not a wretch. Need to understand where that song came from. We need to understand that energy. The other thing that I point out is like people put tattoos on. Yes, I have a tattoo, but that tattoo is this symbol right here, which means the protection of God, is an Adinkra symbol. And one time I saw a young lady and she had a symbol on. I said, what does it mean? She said, nothing. I said, no, baby, give it a meaning, because otherwise people are going to project at you what they wanted it to mean. Take control over your words. Work at loving yourself until it's down in your bone marrow, and you will become a new person. New energy is there. It will change your world. Remember, the power is in your words. Your thoughts control your words control your actions, and your actions control your world. I look forward to, I hope this blessed somebody, and I look forward to seeing you again next week at Rainey Speaks.
So this is our third week of Rainey Speaks in our current series, Freeing Yourself. So next week is going to be about open questions just about freeing yourself. And we invite everyone to send any and all questions about freeing yourself this week, and just go to the page and put it in. And this is a question that I want answered. And we're going to take those questions and walk through them next week and hear what Rainey has to say. And I almost forgot about something. You have a book.
Yeah.
What's the name of that book?
Reclaiming Your Divine Birthright.
Reclaiming Your Divine Birthright. So we're going to post that book. You can order that book on Amazon.com, and that information will be shared with you momentarily. But we want to make sure that you follow Rainey Speaks on Facebook. And then also there is a YouTube page called what? Rainey Speaks. Any and all the previous discussions and recordings are there. So if you miss it here, you can go back there and listen to it one more time. Because the more that you hear it, the more that tape within your head will change. I want to thank you once again for joining us here tonight at Rainey Speaks. Be good to yourself. Why? Because you are worth it. Amen.
Amen.
Have a good night.